Look at this road, Abu Dhabi Road. I mean, the tallest building of the world are now functional. The most modern machinery in the world are installed over there. The most beautiful sea resorts you see in Dubai. The most pleasant and wonderful playlands you find in Dubai. The best shopping malls you find in Dubai. In 70s, it was all desert. There was nothing but Ramal, as they call in Arabic, Ramal. And look at how this visionary, dedicated, forward-looking leadership has converted Ramal into gold after gold, into diamonds, into... And people from Russia, they flocked to Dubai. People from Pakistan, they flocked to Dubai. People from India, they flocked to Dubai. Europeans find Dubai the most conducive environment to work. They work during the day and enjoy in the evening. You have beautiful mosques. You have the heritage. Coming back to the point, in 70s, barges would take lots of goods to Pakistan, and barges would bring lots of goods from Pakistan into Dubai. Canoe would come, fruit would come, wheat would come, rice would come, and vegetables would come, meat would come. I know, and all of you know, that sheikhs and people from UAE would go and visit Karachi. They had their homes in Karachi. They had their business centers in Karachi. They had established hotels in Karachi, in Lahore, in Rahim Yar Khan, in Bahawalpur. So look at this, the deepest of links these two countries had established from, not from the day Pakistan came to being, but from centuries. And look at what we have done to ourselves and what UAE's forward-looking leadership has done to the people of UAE for their kith and kin, for themselves, and now they are counted as a force to be reckoned with in the community of nations. And this is no rocket science. If Ramal could be converted into gold mines and diamonds, Pakistan is blessed with the most beautiful and most valuable natural resources, amply and ably explained by Rizwan Khan in this presentation. I'm just going to touch about the names. Iron ore, through which you get steel, and very rich iron ore in Pakistan. You have vast lands, and where you can grow sheep, you can grow cows, buffaloes, vegetables, fruits, crops. You have water, you have human resources, you have bankers, you have scientists, doctors, engineers, and whatnot. But all these years, my brothers and sisters, all these years, we have not been able to convert Pakistan into a green basket, not only for Gulf state, but for the rest of the Middle East. And these brothers sitting over here, I mean, they would have been more than happy to support Pakistan in all its initiatives. They would have been more than happy to import Pakistan's beef, Pakistan's meat, Pakistan's dairy products, Pakistan's textile products, Pakistan's agri-crops, value-added products, agro-based. And why shouldn't they have? They had their homes in Karachi, homes in Lahore. There was a Dubai palace in Lahore, Abu Dhabi palace in Lahore, in Rahim Yar Khan, Sheikh Zayed Hospital, Sheikh Zayed Foundation, Sheikh Zayed Airport in Bahawalpur. And then generosity of UAE's leadership towards Pakistan. Would they dislike that Pakistan's export should have grown in UAE? None of anybody's fault, our own fault. None of anybody's mistake, our own mistake. None of anybody's fallacy, our own fallacy. If they had the vision to convert Ramal into gold, if they had conviction and vision to convert Sheikh Zayed Road, which was absolutely a desert, into a replica of New York and Shanghai, we were blessed with natural resources which they didn't have. And yet, look where we are and where they are. Ladies and gentlemen, this is precisely the point. which brings me to tell you and request you and beg of you that all is not lost. Let us put our act together. You are the most outstanding, most successful businessman sitting in front of me from Pakistan and from UAE. Why can't we still find meeting points? For example, UAE imports its beef and meat requirements from yesterday. My brother Ishaq Dar said to me, Shahbaz Sharif, there's no doubt that the solutions you are throwing up are short-term solutions, because you can really revive your agri-economy, you can revive your livestock economy, you can revive your dairy farming economy within months, if not in weeks. But are we Gadariyas? And are we, what else you said? I don't remember. But yes, let me be a Gadariya. Let me be Kisan. But let's feed the stomach of a Pakistani. Let's empower Pakistan. Let's empower Pakistan's economy through these initiatives. Why can't we? And I'm not shameful of this. I'm not embarrassed of this, because these are Pakistan's strong points. If UAE can import sheep from Australia, why can't Pakistan export highest quality of meat and beef to UAE? They would be more than happy, provided we have back home the most modern meat processing plants, provided we have back home high quality animal breeding, provided we have back home traceability mechanism, provided we have back home there is no foot and mouth disease. They will be more than happy, because they are brothers. They have supported Pakistan through thick and thin. On all times of crisis, UAE and other Middle Eastern countries have been Pakistan's long arms, standing on our right. And why would they object to this kind of export and import connectivity today? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the theme of this forum. Of course, we can go and go on. We can talk about infrastructure, we can talk about power generation, we can talk about textiles. But what connects UAE investors, importers, and Pakistani investors and exporters are these areas where they have back-to-back what we call captive capacity. That those capacities in livestock, in dairy farming, in milk products, in agro-based industrial products, they import from the rest of the world billions of dollars worth of flours and marmalades and milk, powder milk, butter, cheese, and beef and mutton and meat from all over the world. And Pakistan is naturally placed from a very close proximity point of view. We are just 3 hours away from Lahore. We are Dubai. Dubai is just 1.5 hours away from Karachi. Rahim Yar Khan is just 2 hours from Dubai. Why can't we send plane loads of all these export items of high quality, which have huge capacity in UAE? And not only that, this connectivity must expand to the question of using their large infrastructure. Look at their storage facilities in Dubai. Look at their shipping facilities in Dubai. Look at their marketing companies over here. Look at their financial centers over there. And all these linkages put together will make a wonderful program. And that's why I said all is not lost. A lot of water has passed under the bridges, no doubt about it. But let's take a pause. Let's think over. And let's be very serious. But you can't do it just by delivering sermons and speeches, which we are doing here. It has to be translated into action. It has to be translated into serious effort, sincere effort. It'll happen one day, inshallah. Since the first gentleman who clapped on this point of mine happens to be, I believe, my brother from UAE, and therefore is endorsing that it is sincerity of purpose, it is seriousness of purpose which will make the mayor go. Otherwise, we'll keep on wasting our time and impoverishing our nation.